Although you sent me the document though.
I'll send you, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So today we will look into software development life cycle.
Okay.
To design any IT application, any software application, we have to follow this life cycle. Okay. Like different projects, different products, they have their own life cycle. Like, for example, you are designing a car. Okay. So you follow a particular life cycle. For example, you are designing a cell phone. Okay. Different products follow different life cycles irrespective of any brand. Okay.
Okay.
So let's see here. A framework that describes the activities performed at each stage of a software development project. So now we'll be looking into a framework which describe the activities, like each and every stage, each and every phase, what are the different activities takes place in a framework. So this is a framework. Here we have different stages or phases: analysis, design, program construction, that is development, testing, and the last one is deployment. Okay. So now take any software application, we have to follow this standard life cycle. First, in analysis stage, wherein business analyst involved in this analysis stage and gather requirements, analyze the requirements, document the requirements, and then those business requirements are explained to designers, and designers, by understanding the project, by looking into a document or whatever the diagrams or flow charts, whatever business analyst has designed, by looking into that, designers will design the application. Design means the user interface, designing the architecture. Okay. And after that, after designing, the designers will send the design to programmers, and programmers will write program for it, like Java, .NET, okay, ABAP, SAP ABAP, C Sharp, something like that, ASP.NET. Like this, we have a couple of programming languages. They use these languages to make the program, to make this application functional. Okay. I mean, these programs will help the program to run in a logical manner. Okay. So something, if you click, so suppose let's say you clicked on sign in button. So how system know that when you click on sign in button, it goes and it should open a new window and all these things. So people write program behind it, behind the design. Okay. Now, after that, testing. Once the development is done, then obviously testing people have to test it before releasing it into client location, before releasing it into client server. So testing happens for every product you take, not only IT product, you take any product, testing is mandatory. So in this testing, if they, I mean, if while testers testing the application, if they find any bugs, any errors, then they will send back to technical people, developers and designers. So they will look into it and they will try to fix it. They will fix the bug, again send it to testers. Again, testing people will test the application. What they will test? So as per the requirement has designed or not. As per the business requirements, okay, the application designed or not, they will test. Okay. Then once the testing is done, then deployment. I mean, deployment team will deploy the project in client server, move from one location to other location. Okay. And after that, support and blah blah, some other stages are there. Okay, fine. So let's see one by one. First one is analysis phase. Here, as a business analyst, you analyze the requirements and gather requirements, okay, and document the requirements. So what requirements you document? You document functional requirements. So as a BA, you document functional requirements and non-functional requirements. As a systems analyst, systems requirements. As a data analyst will gather data requirements. And they put it in a separate documents, like functional requirements are stored in functional requirement document, that is FRD, or you can say FRS. means functional requirement specification, like SRD or SRS, system requirement document or specification, DRD and DRS, data requirement document and or data requirement specification. Okay, so combination of all these requirements, we put it in a one document that we call it as business requirement document.
So combination of
Exactly.
a function, a business requirement, combination of functional requirement documentation, system requirement documentation, and of
Hmm.
course data requirement documentation are collectively put together in one document called the BRD.
Exactly. Perfect. So once this BRD is prepared, then as a BA you have to show it to client. Client will cross
But
check.
sorry, okay, but sorry, um, the business analyst is
Mhm.
is not responsible for the SRD
Yes.
or SRS.
Yes.
The systems analyst is responsible for that,
Exactly.
right?
Correct. You are
And the
right.
data analyst is also responsible for the SRD, DRD.
Data analyst. Yeah. DRD. Exactly. Perfect. You are right. So BA is only responsible for functional and non-functional requirements.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Good. So next, analysis phase in more detail. So as a BA, you gather information, define system requirements, functional and non-functional, prioritize requirements. Coming to prioritization. So let's take a small example here. Let's assume you are designing a cell phone. Okay. So a client gave you 500 requirements. Let's say 500 requirements, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this. A list of requirements. Okay. And as a BA, how do you come to know that which requirement is the topmost requirement? I mean, which requirement is the most important requirement, which requirement is the least important requirement? So it is very difficult. See, when I say cell phone, because we are very familiar with the cell phone, you can say yes, connectivity is the must requirement. Okay, call button is the must requirement, connectivity and all these things. But when you're designing a new project, that means that's a completely new one. We have no idea. Correct. So how will you come to know that which requirement is the top priority? So we use some techniques here. We use a technique known as Moscow technique. Okay. So Moscow technique says that, I mean, by using Moscow technique, we can gather requirements according to priority, like must, should, could, and won't. Anyhow, I will teach you after this. Okay. Just try to understand that. We use a technique for prioritization, so that once you gather requirements according to priority, then you can explain the requirements to client, to technical team in the same way, so that technical team will understand. Am I right? So this one we have to design first. Like, for example, you are designing a Gmail. So Gmail registration is important first. Without registration process, how can you log in? So registration process will be the top priority, then login page, like this. Okay. Next, prototype for feasibility and discovery. Prototype means, as a BA, we have to draw some pencil drawings, wireframes. Did I show you any wireframe in MS
Yeah, you
Visio?
showed me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. So
Okay.
prototype for feasibility and discovery. So as a BA, we have to draw some diagrams and show it to client and show it to technical team. So technical team will say that it is possible or not. Feasibility check is done. So it is possible or not. It is not that everything should be possible, correct? So if not possible,
Yes.
then are there any alternatives? That's what, generate and evaluate alternatives and review recommendations with management. Any recommendations you want from the management you can take. So what I'm
Okay.
trying to say is,
Can I quickly add something? When it comes to the SDLC phases, when it comes to the design phase after the business analyst has done his own part, for the design, um, the designer, is it that for an interface like Google now, is it that the designer draws the interface,
yes,
he designs that interface just like a web designer
yes,
designs the front end interface, right? Based on the specification documented by the
correct,
business analyst.
correct. You are right. By looking into this prototype, by looking into this wireframe, designer will get an idea. Oh, this is how the application should look like. I mean, it's a rough diagram we will draw. It is not like, we draw exactly. It's not like that. Just a rough diagram. By looking into that and reading the requirements, and so designer will get an idea. Oh, this is how the application should look like. Then they design in a proper way, proper manner. Okay. Then next. So the same points again repeated here, like gather information, define system requirements, and blah blah. These are the stages. Project planning phase, that is first project will initiate the project, then analysis phase, design, okay, development, and something like this. Next, we'll continue from here because this they are repeated again. Gather information, prioritize, review recommendations with management. Gathering system requirements, functional and non-functional. Work with various stakeholders, users, clients, technical staff. As a BA, you have to work with stakeholders, users, clients, and technical staff. What kind of information do I need? Yes, as a BA, you should know first about a project, about the organization, correct? So basically, you should know what is the objective of the project, what is the purpose of this project, what should be the output, and how this output is useful. Got it? You have to understand 100% about the project first. Then only you can. It will be easy for you when you gather requirements, and when you explain the requirements to technical team. It will be easy for you. So for that, you have to do some research. You have to ask a couple of questions to client. Okay, let's see. What are the business processes and operations? What are the business processes? How are the business processes performed? How they will perform? Okay, functionalities. What are the information requirements? Yes. So like this, as a BA, you should know about project and about organization first. Next, here are a couple of methods, techniques, okay, for gathering requirements. Just I will give a glimpse of all these things. Later we will discuss in detail. Fine. I mean, for each and every uh, technique we will be discussing in detail. Just I will give you a high level understanding about all these techniques and methods. Now let's see here. Primary information gathering techniques. First one, review existing reports, forms, and procedure descriptions. For example, you are designing iPhone 6. For example, you are designing Windows 9 operating system. Look at the existing applications. What are the existing applications? Windows, if you look into Windows operating system, Windows 8 is existing, Windows 7 is existing, Windows Vista is existing, Windows XP is existing. And when you look into iPhone 5s is existing, 5C is existing. That means when you look into an existing applications, you will get an idea. Oh, this is how the application should be. Got it? And you can, when you gather requirements for the new one, new version or new application, so it will be easy for you. This is one way of understanding and gathering the requirements. And conduct interviews and discussions with users. When I say interview, that should be live. It should be live, like that should be face to face or telephonic or through GoToMeeting, through video conference or WebEx, whatnot, or even through chatting, okay, chat box. But it should happen live, immediate replies. Okay, we call that as an interview. So interview, to conduct an interview, we have to follow some steps like reviewing, planning, conducting, and blah blah. But these things we'll discuss when we look into interview topic. Okay, next point. Observe and document business processes. Yes, okay. And next one is build prototype working models. Yes, draw wireframes and show it to client. So when you design a sample model or a wireframe and show it to client, by looking into it, client will get a new idea. This is also one way of getting a new requirement, correct? So when you show a physical object, how it looks like, automatically you will get an idea. Oh, we can put some advertisements here, or we can put some links here, or something like that.
Can I get a link to download Microsoft Visio?
Of course, you have to use that only. We have to use Microsoft Visio only for drawings.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have it. Can I get a link to download any free
Um,
download?
yeah, you will get it from Microsoft site. You just type Microsoft Visio free download in Google. You
Hmm.
will get the application. You can download it, and that will be 60-day trial version. And
What?
which office version you are using in your computer now?
Windows 7.
2007? No,
Windows,
MS
yes,
Office.
2007.
MS Office.
Microsoft of 2007.
2007.
Yeah.
Then you have to download MS Visio 2007. Compatible. Got it? So don't download
Yeah.
2014 or 2010. Download
Okay.
2007, so that that will be compatible, and you can now. I think easily you will get 2007. Okay, don't worry. You
Okay.
can download it from site.
Okay.
Next, conduct chat sessions. Okay, after prototype.
Distribute.
Yeah, distribute and collect questionnaires. Questionnaire is, what do you mean by questionnaire? Questionnaire is something like, suppose you want to interact with a vice president or a general manager. So if these people, they don't have time, lack of time, or maybe they don't want to interact with you face to face, okay, or live, okay, what they do is they will ask you to send a questionnaire, a question paper, along with multiple choice answers like A B C D or 1 2 3 4, or else just send a question, and these people, whenever they have time, they will send it to you. Maybe that can be 1 hour or 1 day or 2 days, but not like very far, but not like interview means immediate reply, correct? But here you don't get any immediate reply. So when you want to interview when you want to gather some information from a vice president or some high level department people, then you can send these questionnaires. Next, conduct JAT sessions. JAT session is nothing but joint application design. The other name for JAT session is workshop. JAT sessions are nothing but workshops. What do you mean by workshop? So as a BA, you have to invite all the technical team members and the client side people under one roof and conduct this workshop. What is this workshop? So for gathering the requirements. Okay. So when all people get one
So
place,
what's sorry? What's that again?
it's a workshop.
It what
Join,
does it?
join. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, is it an acronym?
Exactly, it's an acronym. Joint application
Okay.
design. Okay. Joint application design or JAD session. Basically, if you're, I mean, easily if you want to remember, you can say workshop. Workshop means you know what exactly workshop is. So conducting workshop and invite all the people to this workshop. As a BA, you have to do all these things. Okay, you have to act as a event manager here. Then people discuss with each other directly, like, so client will give requirements directly to technical people, technical team will check the feasibility and the discussions between both the teams. This goes for around 5 to 10 days of time. Okay, so when we have to conduct this workshop or JAT sessions means when we have very less time for requirement gathering, then we can go with these JAT sessions. Got my point? When we have very less time. Otherwise, what happens, BA communicate with the client. So when I say client, there may be two or three people or four or five people. So BA have to communicate with these people on different timings, okay? And then BA have to explain the requirements to technical team. And then these people will take some time, and they will tell that it is possible or not. The feasibility checkup is done. Again, what is possible, what is not possible, again you have to communicate with client. So it takes a lot of time, like it takes minimum 3 months, 4 months time. So but here we don't have that much time. We have only 10 days, maximum 10 days, let's say. So how will you gather the requirements in 10 days? So only the way is you just invite them under a roof, conduct a workshop, and gather the requirements. Let them discuss with each other so that they'll get clarity. No need to explain the requirements to technical team again. Okay, no need to conduct meetings again and again. So only in one shot you will understand everything. People gather all the requirements. I mean, 10 days. When I say 10 days, every day 8 hours. Okay, they discuss about the project. And these JAT sessions or workshops may happen at any hotel or a resort, okay, or at a client location or a office location. I mean, there shouldn't be any disturbance. Next, research vendor solutions. Any ideas? Yeah, you can give. So this is all about analysis phase. In analysis phase, BA gathered requirements, analyzed the requirements, explained the requirements to technical team, documented the requirements, and here are couple of requirement gathering techniques and methods. Okay, and we have many more, but just we covered just 4 or 5. That's it here. And next one is design phase. Okay, so when I say design phase, obviously designer designed the application. That's fine. That's simple. So what designer designed here? A graphical user interface layer, a presentation layer. This is known as a presentation, graphical user interface layer, what we see on the screen. Login page, username, password, sign in button. Designer designed this. So here we have two layers, business layer and database layer. Let's see what do you mean by business layer. I mean, what business layer says here is, as a business analyst, you draw wireframes, right? You draw and explain the project. You show the wireframe and explain the project to designer. And second point is flowcharts. You draw a flowchart and show to designer. Flowchart means which one should be first, which one should be next. Got it? Like a flow of work. For example, if I want to withdraw cash from ATM machine, so if I ask you to draw a flowchart to withdraw, how do you draw? First you go to ATM, then insert a card in that, okay, card reader. So like this, step by step. So in that way, business analyst will draw a flow diagram and show it to technical team, so that these people will understand, oh, this we have to develop first, this we have to develop next. Correct? I mean, registration should be first, then login page, like that. Okay, so here are a couple of documents and diagrams. I'll tell you later. And the next layer is database layer. Database means when, I mean, when designer designed this application, like username, password, and sign in button, when you enter username, password, and click on sign in button, it should connect to database, right? So the database connectivities and the data architecture is designed by database people. Got it? So they will put a connection. When you click on sign in, it should go and hit the database, and the data from the database, the data should be displayed. This is what, this is how it works. Is it clear? Any doubts in design phase? Okay. And the next layer is,
Hello.
yeah,
Sorry. Can you go back?
I can
Go
hear
back
you
to the
now.
previous. Okay. Can you go back to the previous one? Okay. What I'm saying is, for this phase,
Uh-huh.
the business analyst documents it, and
Uh-huh.
then, of course, the data analyst also documents his own.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
so
Hmm.
he both of them put it together in the BRB document and then
Hmm.
presents it to the designer. And so the designer,
Hmm.
who creates the link between the
Hmm.
GUI and the database.
Yeah. Okay. You got it. So you understand, right? What
I
I'm
mean,
trying. Yeah. Who
okay,
connects
okay,
means programmers. That is in the next level. Okay. So designer
okay,
designed the application, and database people and business analyst people, they gather the requirements and explain the things to designer. According to that, designer will design this design. Okay. Next,
okay,
implementation, that is programming, coding. So here BA is not
okay.
going to involve. So here only programmers will write code. Why BA is not going to involve here? Because how many softwares BA will remember, how many technologies BA will remember. For example, let's assume you are designing a banking application, an online banking application for Wells Fargo.
Mm,
Okay, so this project, the Wells Fargo online banking application, is designed by using Java program. Okay, and the next project will be Bank of America online banking application. There they are using .NET, and the third online banking for Chase, they are using some SAP ABAP, something like that. So how many technologies, how many softwares a BA will remember? So BA is nowhere concerned here. Okay, BA don't involve here. But you may ask me a question. So if these people have any doubts, then how? I mean, if they want to interact with the client, then how means systems analyst will be available here, right? So systems analyst will take care of these things, right? Next. Next, testing phase. Obviously, in testing, BA have to involve, BA have to do user acceptance testing. Before that, let's see. We have two types of testing: manual testing and automation testing. Under manual testing, we have around 20 or 25 types of testing, like black box, white box, okay, unit testing. There are a couple of testings, like many testings. Anyhow, I will teach you all the testings. I mean, manual means where a human interaction with a system, where a human tester. Okay, if I ask you to test a cell phone, how do you test? You click on the call button and you check the audio, you check the call quality, or you check the connectivity. These all things comes under manual testing. Wherein automation
Mm.
testing means we have different tools like load runner, wind runner. This is not wind; it's a wind runner. QTP, that is test professional, QC, quality center. Like this, we have different automation tools. So we are nowhere concerned with these automation tools. Okay, we don't look into
Mm.
automation tools because to work on these automation tools, again, a person needs some programming knowledge. Okay, because they write scripts and they implement it on a program, and that they install the program on that application. Automatically, that program will the software will test the program. Okay, the software will test the
Mm.
application. So we are nowhere concerned. So just we look into manual testing. In manual testing, as a BA, you have to do user acceptance testing. User acceptance testing means once the project is done, okay, and once the testing is done by testers, now the project is ready to deploy. The project is ready to move to client location. So before moving it to client location, what BA do is BA invite client to their location, to their office, and BA will explain, show, demonstrate, okay, on a projector or on a computer somewhere, like, you, this is your project, this is what you expected, something like this. Now if client is not satisfied, or client, or you may miss some requirement, sometimes it happens, okay, then that is what we are saying, user acceptance testing. Now user is not going to accept it, user will not accept it, then you again send back to testers and deployment and developers and designers. They will rectify the issues if there are any, and again they will send it back. Any small minor changes also we can do, okay, but not huge, but minor, small minor changes we can do. And so after, I mean, client is satisfied, then move it to client location. So there BA will go to client location, and BA will explain them. BA will demonstrate the application, how to work, how to log in, how to transfer money, and all this things. This is all functional, not programming. You can explain, right? That's not a big deal. If I ask you how to log into GoToMeeting, you can explain. If I ask you how to withdraw cash from ATM machine, you can just explain. That's it. The functional process you will explain. So BA involved in testing phase, design phase, and analysis phase, not in development. And next one is deployment and maintenance. So after UAT or so everything has happened, then support will start, right? Support. So in this support, BA is not going to involve, but project manager will involve in all the areas, because project manager have to take care of all these employees, correct? So BA is not going to involve in deployment. So now you tell me, in which phase BA involves. Let's make it fast.
The BA is involved in the analysis phase. Is involved in the design phase. Is not involved in the design. Is not involved in the program construction. He's involved in testing, and he's not involved in the deployment phase.
Okay, BA involves in analysis, design, and testing, and BA don't involve in programming and deployment. That is
Yes,
implementation. That's it. That's fantastic.
yes.
Now, so look into this testing. As a BA, we involve in manual testing and prepare test cases, functional test cases, user acceptance testing, user manuals. I'll tell you all these things later. Don't worry. In further
For
session,
test cases, okay, you're
I'll
going to give me hands-on on test cases and all
okay.
this stuff.
Okay. Test case means, for example, you gathered 100 requirements. Okay, like
Okay.
for a login page, for registration, Gmail registration, login, and sending an email. Complete Gmail structure. Let's assume. So at first you gather requirements for registration, like the registration page should consist of first name, last name, okay, middle name, and user email ID, password, like this. A couple of fields you will find in a requirement, correct? Now
Mm.
that you have to create. I mean, client will tell to BA that, so this we have to create. Okay, fine. Now as a BA you put it in a requirement document that this is a requirement. Okay. By looking into this requirement, developers and designers design the application. That's fantastic. When it comes to testing people, what they will test, how they will come to know that they have to test this application. Got my point? So
Yeah.
you are telling to developers and designers that develop this application, like develop registration page. But how testers will come to know that you have to test the developed application, that is login page or the registration page? See, I'm not talking about only one requirement. There will be hundreds of requirements.
Yeah.
So at that time, what BA do is BA prepare a test case template, a test case document. In that, whatever the requirement we gather, we write a test case for that requirement. Like, for example, create registration page. Immediately create a test registration page, like this. Here you are writing create in requirement template. In test case template, you have to write test. That's it. Whatever the requirement you gather, for that requirement, you have to write test. You have to tell to testers that, hey, test this after the development. Got my point?
Okay.
Next example. So
And
create a,
do you have any example of templates of test cases that you can
yes,
share?
we have templates, we have examples also, we have. But not now. When we discuss about
Okay.
test cases, I will teach you.
Okay. Okay. That's
Now,
fine.
now,
That's fine.
I have all the templates, all the real documents. Don't worry about that. I will share all the documents. Yes, we are just in a basic stage, like, just trying to understand high levelly,
Okay.
like what exactly BA do. Just it's a high level.
Okay.
So
That's fine.
we'll be discussing test cases, UAT testing, everything we'll discuss. Okay, next. Because if I start with test case, then I have to explain you RTM. Then like this, that will be a separate task. So a separate
Okay.
about testing we'll be discussing now. We'll leave about BA and we'll be talking about testing. That is the reason we have
Mm.
separate sessions, like testing separate session, and for develop like this BRD document separate session, like that. Okay, we will look into it step by
Okay.
step. We'll go next.
Okay. That's fine.
Yep. Next is deployment phase. So deployment or maintenance. So here as a BA we don't involve. That is support. Here you will get support. So after testing, BA will sign off from the project after EAT, and maintenance support will be taken care by support team and project manager. That's it. As a BA we don't involve here. Okay. Now, so like this we have. Okay. So fine. So we have analysis, design, development, that is program construction, testing, and then deployment. That's it. Now, do you have any doubts in software development lifecycle?
No, that's fine.
It's simple, right?
Mm.
Now let's look into technique. As I told you, in analysis phase that we use a technique known as Moscow
Sorry.
technique.
Can
Yeah,
you just hello? Can you just
yeah,
give me some few minutes? 2 minutes. I want to power on the
yeah. Sure,
generator.
sure. I will wait. I will wait. Take your time.
Okay. All
Take
right.
2 minutes. Yeah, I'll do that.
Hold on.
Okay. Now we'll look into Moscow technique. As I told you, right, in analysis stage, like we use a technique. We use a prioritization technique known as Moscow technique.
Mm.
Let's see. Moscow is a prioritization technique used in business analysis and software development to reach a common understanding with the stakeholders on the importance they place on the delivery of each requirement. So, for example, you are designing any application. So, I mean, importance, like which one is the most important one? Which requirement is the most important requirement? Okay, we have to identify by using this technique by asking some questions to SMS. also known as Moscow prioritization or Moscow analysis. Let's see here. Moscow stands for must, should, could, and won't. M stands for must, S stands for yeah, should, C stands for could, and W stands for won't. And we just added O and O in middle to frame it like a word. Okay, it's a Moscow. So first look at must. Must have this. If you take an example of a cell phone, connection is a must requirement. Call button is a must requirement. If you take an example of a car, engine is a must requirement. Steering is a must requirement. Brake is a must requirement, right? So should requirements are like, if you take an example for a cell phone, again, camera is a should requirement. Internet connection is a should requirement. I can't say internet connection is must. Why? Because mobiles, if you look into mobile from the beginning, we don't have any internet connections. Mobile is a device to communicate with each other through voice or through text. That's it. But it is not like you have to search something or browse something or take photographs and all these things. Mobile is not designed for that purpose. Am I right? So,
Yeah.
what are the must and should? Now you understand should. Should means should have this if at all possible. Yes, if at all possible, you can put a camera. If at all possible, you can connect to internet. You can, if at all possible, you can do anything for it. In the same way to applications also. Gmail or any application you see, any software application or a software or a web application, whatever it is. When you look in, and the third one is could have this if it does not affect anything else. Like we can put this requirement, but these requirements should not affect other requirements. A small example, Yahoo search page and Google search page, correct? So
Yeah.
if you want to search something, basically people go to Google search page, but why not Yahoo? I mean, many people. And people say that Google it, but no one says Yahoo it. Am I right?
Mm.
People say Google it. If you want to search something, hey, why don't you Google it, man? But no one say that why don't you Yahoo it, correct? Because they they brought a brand name in the industry like Google is the best search. Why it happened? When you look into Google search page, how it looks, it's a plain page without any advertisements, correct? Without any. So a person go to Google search page or Yahoo search page just for to search, to find out something, to search something. So but in
Mm.
Yahoo, if you see, when you type yahoo.com, you will find a lot of advertisements, pictures, movies, right? Blah
Yeah.
blah, lot of stuff. It looks like a junk, a newspaper, right, with all the
Yeah.
different windows and all these things. But I went to Yahoo to search something. By looking into these things, something may attract my eyes, something may attract my mind. Okay, something may distract my mind. I just click on that and I just forget about my thought process. I will see that, yeah, I will search after some time. So what is happening, it is affecting, these are affecting the real requirement, the original requirement. What is the real requirement here? Search page. The search page is to search something, not to watch movies or not to look into advertisements. Am I right?
Mm.
So such requirements we call them as good. So what Google did, see, do you think that Google cannot implement such type of advertisements on Yahoo? They can, but they had given a right, just justice, to a right judgment to uh, they took a right judgment for a Google page, a search page. Got my point? But Yahoo, it's not like that. So all the junk data comes under good requirement, or some requirements which affecting the original real requirement. We call them as good requirements. So what we have to do is we have to ignore them. We have to delete those requirements, or we have to put it somewhere. That's what they are saying. Could have this if it does not affect anything else. Next, the last one is owned. Would or owned. Would means, would or owned means you gather requirements. That's fine. Those are important requirements only. Okay, I'm not saying that those are not important, but they are not that much important now. Okay, they are not that much important now. Maybe lack of priority, maybe lack of time, we are not developing them. Maybe lack of money we are not developing them, okay, or maybe lack of priority, maybe people they don't want that high end technology now, okay. People they are not looking for such type of a huge change, they want a slight changes. So at that time we don't implement these requirements, we call them as won't have this time but would like in the future. But sure, we'll implement in future, not in this version, not in iPhone 5s, but sure we'll put it in iPhone 6. If not in 6, then sure we'll put it in 6s or 6c or 7. Got it? Is it clear? So in this way we have to ask to client what are the must requirements, what are the should requirements, could and don't, and according to that you filter them. I know like I mean, you explain these requirements to technical team, like, hey, these are the mandatory requirements, these are the second mandatory, second priority, and could please ignore them, and would we will implement it later. That means you are finding exactly a right requirement by using this technique, okay, exactly a prioritized requirement through this technique. Is it clear? Masco technique, or do you have any doubts? Same here, I mentioned must, should, could and won't.
Not fun.
Yeah. And the next one is Zachman method. We'll look into this and we'll stop here. So Zachman method is a requirement gathering technique, a method. Like here, for example, you want to know something about a project, okay? I mean, you don't have any idea about a project. You want to know something about a project in a detailed way. Then let's say that you go to client, you sit in front of client, and in what way you start, from where you start, in what way you start asking questions. So for that, we use this technique. Zachman says 5 W's and 1 H. 5 W's are why, where, what, who, when, and 1 H is how. Look at this. Sorry. How to ask requirements to the client? By using 5W 1H, we are going to ask requirements to the client. So this is the structure. 5W 1H. Why, what, when, where, who, and how. And here comes an example. So we just discuss about this scope planner, the top one, okay. We are not going to look into all this like enterprise model, system model. We are not going to do all these things. Just we look into the top part, okay, the level one scope planner. You can see on the top what, how, where, who, when, and why, right? As I told you, 5 W's and 1 H. Let's assume, okay, we are gathering requirements from a Facebook SME or a Facebook stakeholder. I mean, Facebook is an organization. Let's assume they don't have any social networking site till now. Okay, they are looking for a social networking site. Let's assume Facebook, they are looking for a social networking site. They want to develop a social networking site. So, as a business analyst, I'm working in IBM. Let's assume. So, this Facebook people approached IBM. Okay, and then they started giving the requirements to business analyst. Now, as a BA, I gather requirements from SMA. So, my questions are like this to client. First question is what? I don't know. I mean, what exactly you are looking for? You said Facebook, but I don't know what is Facebook. I mean, this still we don't they don't have anything. Let's assume. Now, my first question is what? What is this Facebook? What data it consists of? Now, client says that Facebook is a social networking site. Okay, it consists of people information whose age is 13 above 13 years. Okay, now I got it. Okay, social networking site means all the people information. That's great. My second question is how it works. You said social networking site and people data are there, but I should know how it works, how people communicate with each other. Let's see, list of process the business performs. They mentioned inside the box, right? List of process the business performs. Functionality. So now client is saying that, hey, a person can upload a photograph, a person can upload a profile, and a person can send a request, okay, through email. I mean, search. A person can search particular people, particular um, related to different categories, okay, strategies like according to school or according to college, according to office, okay, by with their email IDs or with their phone numbers, with their locations. Like this you can search, and you can send a friend request, you can reject, you can upload a photograph, you can upload a video, you can like, you can poke, you can do so many things, okay. So that is not about functionality. List of process the business performs. Next question is, as a BA, I'm asking client where it works. Where means network location. List of locations in which the business operates across the world. Of course, in some countries they banned it, like in China or a couple of other countries, but they designed it for across the world. Okay, now I understand. Oh, it is a social networking site, so people from across the world they can communicate through Facebook. Okay, and it consists of people information where you can these are the functionalities. I understand something now about Facebook. Now next question is who are important to business this organ I mean Facebook. List of organizations important to business. Listen carefully. Facebook is giving a free service, right? What is the catch here then? From where they are getting money? I'm not going to pay. I'm not paying. You are not paying. Then who is going to pay? Who is paying money? Advertisers. So to attract advertisers, Facebook gave a free, okay, a free login for all for all people, so that millions of people they logged in, they are using Facebook. When wherever the people are more, automatically the advertisers will be there, correct? So through this advertisement they are earning. That means people, I mean users, customers as well as clients, both are important. People means organizations and people, customers. Next, when. Do you have any time zones? Do you have any time limit? No, it's 24/7. You can log into Facebook at any time. Wherever you are across the world, in any time zone, you can log in. Okay, that is what they are saying. And why? You have to ask what is the purpose of starting this social networking site? Why you want to develop this? What is your goal? What is your strategy? What do you perform by the end of the day? What you want to achieve by the end of the day? So that is nothing but motivation. Why? You have to ask major goals, okay, and all these things. In the same way, take any example like Bank of America or Wells Fargo or any industry. The same thing. When you look into bank, what data? Like people data, products data, accounts, loans, correct? And how it works. A person can open an account, a person can open apply for a loan, blah blah. Where it works in United States, okay. And who are important? Organizations who save money in this, organizations who run payrolls through this bank, okay. And savings accounts people and current checking account people, okay, who take loans. This all comes under people only. And when particular timings, bank will run particular timings. Suppose you are developing a banking application, particular timings or 24/7, your wish. And why means every person is in need of money, will be in need of money, so they are providing service and they want to be number one in the industry, okay. I mean like this, motivation. Why? Major business goals, critical success factors. You got my point? So in this way you can easily understand a project. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yes or no? You can easily understand the project or not by these questions,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
The straightforward
Yeah.
questions and straightforward answers you will get. Otherwise, you don't know from where to start, how to start, and what question I have to ask. But this is known as ZACMAN method. That's it. So,